Like, hey, there's people, family, friends, people that former coworkers, whatever the case is, you start
Yeah.
doing these things and you start becoming successful. You start doing things differently than you were before when you said you were in a not so good place, right? But then people see you change with you. I'm like, nothing's wrong. And people have a hard time seeing that beyond what they're used to seeing. And for you and for the others listening now, when you're making these changes, you're making this progress, these huge gains in life, in health and whatnot, you don't change it for anybody. Yes, you still care about people, but you're, like you said, that little energy left at the end of the day after you're dedicating to the business, your life that you're now living in addition to the rest of it, that's for you, right? And you don't want to have to exit people. People should just support. Not saying they don't support, you, but I love what you said. It's different, and you're learning to reestablish a relationship in a different way now, in a positive way,
Yeah.
especially for you. So that I love that. That's something I think that's really neat. A lot of people don't understand that part, and they continue to say, "Hey, I want to go back and I did this thing, but I'm going to go back and act or be as available to others." It's not saying cut people off, like you said. It's more of know now what your time is valuable. You're going to have to balance it, right? So
Yeah.
that's great. Quick question.
Yeah.
This leads into maybe beyond before you started this, right? What would you say, or, obviously you bet on yourself, right? So which paid off. Who was the first person to bet on you, or how, what I mean? Like, how did, what would you say? Was there things that gave you belief, in the beginning, whether it was this or even beyond before this? And then how would
Yeah.
you say you pay it forward now to other people, whether it be, other entrepreneurs or women in the field, right? Because of what
Yeah.
people have gambled on you or to spend time with you to coach you up.
Yeah. I think for me, it was like really me gambling on myself, right? Of course, you have the support of friends, family, coworkers, all that, but it was like really me getting into that mental space, being like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And one person who I'm like obsessed with, and her podcast really motivated me and put me in that mind space, was Layla Hormozy.
Hmm.
That's one person who I'm forever grateful for, because everyone knows Alex Hormozy, right? He's the guy, and his wife is a genius. And even in his podcast, he shouts her out all the time. He's like, no, Layla is like the real brains,
Yeah.
but she doesn't have as much quote unquote clout as him. And I think that goes back into your earlier question where it's like, how do you deal with misogyny? Right. And I didn't really answer that, but I do think a lot of times, even in the fitness field, men always come off more credible, right? The fitness realm up until recently was always so male dominated, right? It's like, building on muscle, that's men, right? Creatine, protein, that's like a guy thing, right? So even as a coach, one of the biggest barriers I have is getting women to lift weights because they don't want to come off bulky. And it's like, no, it's like you're building muscle. Muscle is healthy. This is what's going to sustain you and keep longevity, right? But sorry, circling back, Layla Hormozy, she really, just listening to her podcast on business and motivation and resilience, and she leads a lot without saying it, like into stoicism. That's what really, really motivated me,
Yeah, and
for
they're great.
sure.
And by the way, they are great. Shout out to them. I mean, they've done some great things. A lot, very well known, as you've alluded to. And like you said, it's the resiliency, right? And segueing to this, and this is something that's always tough. It's hard. People have heard and are listening to your story, but what are the words of wisdom that you have for just in general for entrepreneurs, whether it be, again, doesn't matter the sex or whatnot, but again, you went through your journey of how you started, how you developed into who you are, who you've listened to, the people that pushed you, the relationships that are evolving, right? That you now have with family, whoever else. What is your advice to folks that are trying to start a journey, regardless whether it's in fitness, online, or anything? Like, what's your advice to folks who are contemplating? Like, I don't know if I want to do this, because that stuck with me. You said, like, I don't know, maybe I want to do this. What is your suggestion to them? And it's an advice from your experience.
I would just say, and part of my language, fuck the noise, fuck the static, bet on yourself, and just go.
Love it. I love it.
That's it.
And